What's up, marvelous people? This is Sunshine with a painting process video of a gouache painting from my art affirmation series. I literally just made that title up just now when I said it, but I think it works. I'm going to go into the meaning of this painting very shortly, but first I'll tell you about what I'm doing. For the drawing, I actually didn't use a reference photo for this drawing, which is pretty unlike me, but I just drew all this from my head and used my basic knowledge of highlights and shadows and color to render it. This is actually only my second time painting with gouache at the time, so I'm still very much so getting used to it. Based off the description of gouache, it being both water-soluble and opaque, I used to think it was like a middle ground between watercolor and acrylic, like a mix between the two. But gouache is really completely different and separate. It's its own thing and I like it. I definitely used some watercolor techniques in this painting, but again, as a whole, gouache is very different than watercolor. I'm doing a ton of layering with different colors. I started more so with my darker base skin tone and added a bunch of warm tones on top of it. Reds, oranges, that mustard yellow color that we all love, and lastly white. So instead of watercolor where you have to leave your whites white and typically start light and work your way dark, gouache allowed me to start dark and work my way light. And I didn't watch any tutorials on gouache before this, so I'm not saying this is the only way to use it or the right way to use it or the best way to use it. I just went with the flow on how it felt for me. And that's the marvelous thing about art and new mediums. So often we get so scared to try a new medium because it's different. It dries faster or slower than what we're used to, it has a thicker or thinner consistency, or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, paint is just paint. Your hands and your mind that are doing the work know what to do, just trust them. Our brains adjust extremely quickly when faced with new circumstances and will evaluate and alter to match whatever is being presented, and this includes the art process. So don't let a new medium scare you away. Your style goes with you no matter what you're doing, and you know what to do. You just have to step out of your comfort zone and trust your instincts. Trust yourself. I just kind of dove into it and had fun with it and tried not to stress too much with this painting and really loved how it turned out. I am especially in love with the message. So art gives what the heart and soul demand, and my soul is demanding positivity right now. Like, bathe me in kindness and empower me to always see my worth because I deserve the space I take up. I am supposed to be here. Any table I'm at, I deserve to be at. Any room I'm in, I work to be in. Any conversation I'm a part of, I should not be ignored and my words shouldn't go unheard or unnoticed. I believe this and I make sure my presence speaks to this as well. There's so many times in life where I'm sitting at tables or in rooms where people are looking at me like I'm crazy, like, why are you here, who let you in? Or conversations where people will talk over me or interrupt me or completely ignore me as if I'm not there. And that kind of crap can really get to you if you let it, but you have to remind yourself that wherever you are, you deserve that space. Own it. You didn't haphazardly, accidentally trip and fall to be in the place you are. Everything you have done throughout your life, everything you have worked towards, everything that you are, has brought you to this exact moment to be exactly where you are supposed to be. You have earned every bit of it and more. And there's so much more out there just waiting for us to reach and grab. You deserve to be heard and listened to. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be present. And I make a point to be very active in this knowledge, telling myself I deserve to be in the room, and allowing myself to get walked over in that room does not align with the truth I'm telling myself. And if there's a disconnect in what we believe about ourselves and what we do or allow others to do to us, then we can never function at our greatest potential. Everything needs to be in alignment. This is kind of silly, but like, what happens to a freshwater fish that allows others to keep telling him and convincing him that he belongs in the swamp? Eventually, he'll believe it and find his way there. We can be talked out of everything we've worked so hard to build for ourselves if we don't stand up for our truths. For me, that looks like interrupting the conversations where I was ignored or looked over and making my own introduction. That looks like finishing my thoughts when they have been cut off because I was not finished talking. That looks like letting my presence be known in my most authentic way always, no matter who is present or where I am. Because not only do I deserve to be at this table, shoot, I'm working to own this table. Not only do I deserve to be in the room, I'm working to own the building. But how can I own the building if I'm afraid to walk through the door? Or if I walk in with my head bowed, avoiding eye contact, and afraid of my own voice? So I stand hard and firm in this affirmation. Years ago, I made myself stop apologizing constantly for simply being. And I always tell myself to look up when I'm walking down the street or walking anywhere. It's like a mental rubber band in my mind. When I start looking down or my mind starts wandering and I'm looking at the cracks in the sidewalk or something like that, I just mentally tell myself, "Oop, put your head back up, put your chin up." And as women, we say sorry entirely too much, and that's not an easy thing to stop doing when we've always done it or so many women around us do it. But you have to be active in being the person you want to be, and it's not a perfect process. Every now and then, I still catch myself saying sorry because someone else bumped into me or for sharing my emotions or some other stupid reason, but keep reminding yourself of your divine place in the universe and how God made you especially who you are to be wherever you are and to be wherever you will be. And you never have to apologize for that. And this quote, "You deserve the space you take up," reminds me of another quote, "Bloom where you are planted." Like, you deserve the space you're in, and where you are, prosper, grow, bloom, blossom. Like, how big is that? You deserve this space, and you should also flourish in this space. Plant a garden in your space, thrive in abundance in that space. And that connection to me is probably what inspired all the plants in this painting. I have a lot of botanical elements in my works of art because I'm always going for that element of growth and blossoming and life and blooming and coming out of your bud, coming out of your shell, being beautiful and bold and present. And adding that element of plants just always feels right to me, so I go with it. Again, I trust my instincts. And I'm the same way with celestial elements. So there's a strip of her hair that is navy blue with stars in it. And that's inspired by space because obviously the word space is in the quote, but also to me there's a connection between the space and plants. This may sound crazy, but in my mind it's the connection of little old me and my place on earth and the bigness of my place in the whole entire universe. It's the locality of me standing on a crosswalk waiting for a light to change, and a plant is sprouting through a crack on the sidewalk next to me, and then you zoom out, and there is the entire universe in outer space millions and millions of miles away. And I am a part of both things. You are a part of both things. Think about the bigness of deserving both spaces. You deserve that space on the sidewalk next to that plant, and you deserve your overarching place in the universe. All we have to do is show up and own it. It's already ours. God gave us life to live, and live abundantly and joyfully with growth and confidence and self-love. That's why it was important for the woman in the drawing to be making direct eye contact with the viewer to show that unabashed confidence. Like, dang, she's owning the space she's in that painting. Like, this is my picture, fool. And I also probably subconsciously picked these bright, vibrant colors for the painting to show that bold presence and confidence. Bloom boldly where you're planted. Even if you don't feel bold and confident in that moment, fake it, because our hearts and minds will believe what we continue to tell and show ourselves. There's a quote by James Clear, who wrote the book Atomic Habits, where he talks about how if there's a habit of ours that we wish to change or something about ourselves that we wish to change, we can't just snap our fingers and change ourselves completely overnight, how we have to change bit by bit, day by day, habit by habit. And he says, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. No single instance will transform your beliefs, but as the votes build up, so does the evidence of your new identity. So what he's saying is, if we want to do something, or rather be something, we have to do the action to perform the actions that align with that identity. So for example, if I want to be an artist or say that I am an artist, I have to paint or create music or play an instrument. I have to do the activities that align up with that identity of being an artist. If I want to say that I'm a reader can't be called a reader if they never pick up a book. So as a reader, I have to read books like Atomic Habits is a great book. And if I want to be a confident person, I have to do the actions that align with confidence. I have to make eye contact even when it feels a little uncomfortable. I have to walk with my head held high and not stare at the ground when I walk. I have to walk like I own the space, the room, the sidewalk, the building. I have to have a firm handshake. I have to be kind and supportive to others because we never gain confidence in ourselves by tearing other people down. Confidence is not intimidated by the success of others. Confidence believes in yourself and roots for your friends. I have to get out of my comfort zone and start a conversation with a stranger. I have to truly trust in myself, my instincts, and my abilities to crush my aspirations and be the person I want to be. Or even better, that I am already the person I want to be and always still constantly growing and evolving. So it's not just what confidence looks like on the outside, even though that physical connection makes a big difference as well. It's the same reason why many of us feel more confident when we're put together, dressed nicely, makeup done, hair done. Our body language naturally holds more confidence and self-assurance when we are pleased with our appearance. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that, by the way. We deserve to feel and look good. But outside of looking confident with our body language, we want to truly feel confidence in our minds and hearts. So some other confidence building habits can be speaking daily affirmations to yourself. Tell yourself that I am powerful. Tell yourself that everything I need is already within me. Tell yourself that I am an awesome person and people love to be around me. Tell yourself that I am in full control of my life. Tell yourself that I have the ability to achieve my dreams and goals. Tell yourself that I am beautiful inside and out. Tell yourself that I am enough. And telling yourself these things may feel kind of funny, but the mind is so powerful. Our minds will believe what we continue to tell and show ourselves. So adding in a couple of awesome confident habits and telling yourself some awesome confidence building things will truly make a difference. And if we don't already have those habits ingrained in us to do, it's okay because, like he's saying, we change bit by bit, day by day, habit by habit. If we start to consistently make a point or intention to do certain habits, then we slowly evolve into that person that we are wanting to become. With the colors, I did a lot of layering because gouache tends to look somewhat flat when it dries since it dries with such a matte finish. So I feel like layering with gouache is so important because you have to create that depth and get rid of that flatness. And also for the quote itself, I am not all that skilled when it comes to calligraphy, so I actually used a projector to trace the outline of the letters and then painted them in. And this main silver color for her hair is so dope. It's literally a silver gouache, but not a water-soluble gouache, so it's more like acrylic. And I only had to do one layer to get this really thick, cool effect. So that's the painting. I hope you enjoyed watching its creation and hopefully got affirmed and encouraged in the process. I'm about to start uploading all my art videos, so subscribe and like this video if you want to see more content like this. Thank you and have a beautiful day.